All right, let's talk car audio. You know that feeling when you crank up your favorite song, windows down, totally immersed in the music? Now imagine taking that feeling and turning it into a competition.
That's what Squology is all about. A competition solely focused on sound quality, where audiophiles compete to create the most incredible listening experience possible, all within their cars.
And they have a whole rule book for this. I'm in. So what are we diving into today?
You got it. We're taking you deep into the world of Squology using their rulebook as our guide to unpack what it takes to build an award-winning system.
Okay, walk me through it. Where do we even begin?
It's all about climbing the audio ladder, and Squology has a category for every level of enthusiasts, starting with the most approachable, street class.
Street class, so everyday cars, not just decked out competition vehicles.
Exactly. Street class is all about maximizing the sound quality of a stock-like system. Think factory speakers with some clever upgrades, maybe an amp tucked away discreetly. It's the perfect entry point for someone wanting to dip their toes into the competition world without needing a full-blown custom build.
Makes sense. So the judges are mainly listening for how well you've optimized what you already have.
You got it. And in street class, judging is primarily focused on the driver's seat. They want to experience what it's like to be behind the wheel of your sonic masterpiece.
Okay, I'm starting to get the picture. But let's say you've been bitten by the modding bug, and a few upgrades just won't cut it anymore. What then?
That's where modified class comes in. This is where competitors really start to flex their car audio muscles. We're talking upgraded speakers, aftermarket amplifiers, maybe even custom enclosures molded perfectly to the contours of your car.
Whoa, custom enclosures? Is that what I'm picturing? Like fiberglass sculptures designed to enhance the sound?
That's exactly it. They're not just about looks, though. They can be pretty impressive visually. Custom enclosures optimize the acoustics within your car, allowing you to fine-tune the sound in ways you wouldn't believe.
Huh.
And this is where we start to see more advanced tech come into play.
Oh, like what?
Think digital signal processors, DSPs, for short. They give you incredibly precise control over the audio signal, allowing you to tweak frequencies, time delays, and all sorts of audio magic to create that perfect soundstage.
DSPs, so we're getting seriously geeky with the tech here.
Absolutely. And while judging in modified class is still primarily from one seat, you can actually request two-seat judging if your system is designed for a balanced listening experience throughout the car.
Two-seat judging. Interesting. We'll have to unpack that a little later. But first, I'm curious.
Yeah.
You've got street, you've got modified. Where do we go from here? What's the top tier of this audio ladder?
Now we're entering the realm of the truly hardcore audiophile pro class. Think of it as the pinnacle of Squology, where competitors bring out the big guns in pursuit of sonic perfection.
Bring out there big guns. Okay, now I'm really intrigued. What does that even look like in a car audio competition?
We're talking top-of-the-line components, meticulously planned system designs, and a level of tuning that borders on the obsessive. These competitors aren't just passionate about car audio, they live and breathe it. And in Pro Class, 2C judging is the standard. The system needs to sound absolutely incredible, not just for the driver, but for the passenger as well.
Wow, that's a whole other level of dedication. But hold on, you mentioned something earlier about a couple of wild cards.
Yes. For those who like to push the boundaries, there's Extreme Class. It's exactly what it sounds like. No holds barred, anything goes. If you can dream it, design it, and somehow fit it into your car while maintaining some semblance of drivability, you can compete in Extreme Class.
I'm picturing cars bursting at the seams with speakers, wires everywhere.
Yeah.
Organized chaos.
Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, we have OEM.
OEM? What's that all about?
Think of it as the art of stealth. Imagine a system that sounds absolutely incredible but looks completely factory fresh. No flashy lights, no custom door panels, just pure audiophile goodness hidden beneath a veneer of factory-installed normalcy.
So it's like a wolf in sheep's clothing, but for car audio. That's amazing. So in OEM, the judges are looking for that sleeper system, something that blows you away with its sound quality without ever giving away its true potential at first glance.
Exactly. It's a unique challenge that requires a different approach, a delicate balance between high-end audio and a factory-fresh aesthetic. It's fascinating to see what competitors come up with.
Okay, we've got the categories down from mild to wild, but this whole competition revolves around sound quality. What does that actually mean in this context? What are the judges listening for when they hop into these tricked-out cars?
That's the heart of it, isn't it? And it's more nuanced than you might think. The Squology Rulebook breaks it down into 4 main criteria, each one crucial for that audiophile bliss we've been talking about.
Hit me with it. What's the first thing on the judge's radar?
First up is tonal accuracy, and it's a big one, worth 30 points. Imagine yourself at a live concert. You can hear the warmth of the double bass, the crispness of the snare drum, the breath of the vocalist, all perfectly balanced, no single instrument drowning out the others. That's tonal accuracy in a nutshell.
So it's about recreating the experience of listening to a perfectly mixed studio recording, but in your car.
Exactly. You want every note from the lowest bass to the highest treble to be reproduced faithfully just as the artists intended it to be heard. Now here's an insider tip. It's not just about expensive speakers. Don't underestimate the power of sound-deadening materials. They eliminate rattles and vibrations that can muddy the sound, making a huge difference in tonal accuracy.
Sound-deadening materials, like those mats they put in a recording studio. I never would have thought of that. See, this is why I love a good deep dive. Okay, what's next on the list?
Next, we have imaging and staging, worth 25 points. This one's all about creating a realistic sonic landscape within your car. Think of it this way. Imagine you're listening to Pink Floyd's Money. With excellent imaging and staging, you'd feel like the cash register sound effects are panning across your dashboard while the guitar solo seems to come from behind you.
Okay, that's seriously cool. It's like those surround sound systems. But instead of speakers all over your living room, it's meticulously crafted within the confines of your car. I'm impressed.
It's pretty amazing what skilled competitors can achieve. And remember, if you've opted for two-seat judging, that immersive soundstage needs to be consistent for both the driver and the passenger.
Two-seat judging. Talk about a challenge, right?
Yeah.
What's next? Give me another piece of the puzzle.
Now we're getting into the really fine details. Detail and clarity worth 15 points. This is about hearing all the subtle nuances that often get lost in translation.
Lost in translation, like what?
Imagine listening to a live jazz performance. You can hear the vocalist's breath between phrases, the fingers sliding on the strings of a bass guitar, the subtle resonance of the piano's soundboard. Those little details add a level of realism and depth that truly elevates a system from good to exceptional.
That's fascinating. It's like the difference between seeing a photograph of a painting and actually standing in front of the real thing, brushstrokes and all. You get a whole other level of appreciation for the artistry.
Precisely. And this is where a good DSP comes into its own. Competitors use them to fine-tune those subtle details, making sure nothing gets lost in the mix.
All right, we've covered tonal accuracy, imaging, and staging detail and clarity. What's the last piece of the judging puzzle?
Last but not least, we have dynamics worth 10 points. This one's all about how well the system handles those dramatic shifts in volume and intensity.
Okay, I think I have an idea of what you mean, but give me an example. Paint me a sonic picture.
Imagine you're listening to an orchestra. You have those quiet, intimate moments where a lone flute carries the melody, and then suddenly the entire orchestra erupts in a powerful crescendo. A great car audio system should be able to handle both extremes with grace and precision, making the music feel truly alive.
So it's not just about being loud, it's about having that dynamic range, those peaks and valleys that bring the music to life.
That's exactly it. It's about conveying the full emotional range of the music from a whisper to a roar. And again, this applies to both single-seat and two-seat setups.
Okay, so we've talked about making the system sound incredible, but what about the system itself? Does presentation matter in a competition like this, or is it purely about the audio? So we've talked about the audio, but what about the visual? Does how the system looks actually factor into the judging?
It absolutely does. Installation quality is a key aspect of SQOLOGY, and for good reason. Think of it like this. You wouldn't frame the Mona Lisa with duct tape and cardboard, would you?
Definitely not.
Yeah.
But seriously, how much does presentation matter in the grand scheme of things?
It's not just about aesthetics, it's about showcasing the care and craftsmanship that goes into these systems. Judges are looking at everything: clean wiring, secure mounting, attention to detail. It should look as good as it sounds.
So it's like looking under the hood of a finely tuned sports car. Everything in its place meticulously crafted. Are there any examples that come to mind when you think of killer installations?
Oh, absolutely. I've seen competitors seamlessly integrate amplifiers into custom-built center consoles, route wiring through the car's frame with painstaking precision, even upholster subwoofer enclosures to match the car's interior perfectly. It's an art form in itself.
Wow, that's incredible. It's like they're blending the audio system into the very fabric of the car. So it's not just about making it sound good, it's about making it visually stunning as well.
Exactly. It's about creating a total package, a cohesive experience that's both audibly and visually impressive. And this is especially crucial for those brave souls who opt for two-seat judging.
Right. Two-seat judging. We keep circling back to that. Yeah. It's such a unique aspect of SQOLOGY. It's not enough for the system to sound amazing just for the driver. It needs to deliver that same immersive experience for the passenger, too.
It's a whole other ballgame. You're essentially creating two perfect listening positions within the car, which requires a deep understanding of acoustics and a meticulous ear for detail. Imagine trying to tune a system that sounds equally amazing whether you're sitting upright in the driver's seat or reclining slightly in the passenger seat. It's a real challenge.
That's wild. It's like those fancy dual climate control systems, but instead of temperature, it's audio perfection. No wonder competitors agonize over those two-seat setups.
They do, but when they nail it, when those judges get out of the car with smiles on their faces, having experienced that perfectly balanced soundstage from both seats, it's truly something special.
So what does this all mean for those of us listening, even if we're not quite ready to build our own competition-worthy systems?
It means next time you're in your car, pay attention to the details of the music you're listening to. Can you hear the nuances, the subtle inflections in a singer's voice? Can you place the instruments in a virtual space around you? It might just change the way you listen to music forever.
I love that. It's about bringing that same level of appreciation and awareness to our everyday listening experience. After diving deep into the world of SQOLOGY, I'm feeling inspired to maybe tweak my own car audio setup a bit. Even small upgrades can make a difference, right?
Absolutely. And hey, you never know. This might just spark a lifelong passion for car audio. You could be on your way to becoming a SQOLOGY champion.
A champion, huh? Maybe someday. But for now, I'm content to just crank up the tunes and appreciate the incredible artistry and dedication of those who live and breathe car audio. It's a symphony on wheels, a concert hall on 4 tires, a testament to the power of music and the pursuit of sonic perfection. Until next time, keep those speakers tuned and those ears open.